Welcome everyone to our APL Go Sunday night training. So happy to have all of you here, almost 150 people already who can't wait to hear what our guest speaker tonight has to say. So I am going to just be real brief on my part because I can't wait to give her the floor. But my name is Tina Malsom. I'm here from Scottsdale, Arizona live. I am a co-master rep in this company, APL Go, that has officially not even launched yet in the United States. We're still on a soft launch whisper campaign for a few more months. But there are so many people so excited about the product and the science that we have found in APL Go. So we have a very special guest speaker tonight. Her name is Mary Esther Gilbert. She is a nutritional physiologist, right? I hope I got that right, and a sports nutritionist with 40 years in this nutrition arena. She has a bachelor's in nutritional science, a master's in holistic nutrition, and her name is Mary Esther Gilbert. And she wrote a fantastic book called the APL Product Reference Nutritional Guide. If you haven't seen it, I love it when people say, so the product tastes amazing, I like the product, but is there really science behind it? And then I go like this. Yeah, there's a little bit, just like a little bit of science behind it, about 500 pages worth. So we have the author. She has written 6 books, all in the nutritional arena, but she is the author of this specific book, all about APL Go. So Mary Esther, welcome to our call, and thank you so much for joining us. And
well, it's a joy and honor to be here, believe me.
I would love to hear from you a little bit about your background in this nutritional space that you've been in for such a long time.
I'll try to make 40 years of work brief right now. Basically, I went for back in '79, I went for a typical clinical dietetics degree. But as I progressed through the curriculum, I realized that it wasn't really teaching anyone how to heal the body using the nutrients that our microcells, our trillions of cells in the body, require every single day. So, at first I was just doing consultations with clients and teaching them all about the vitamins and the minerals. But as the years went by, I realized there was so much more to learn. So that's when I found the holistic colleges. But they taught me more than the typical clinical dietetics curriculum was teaching. So I went off on that tangent, and I was never sorry. I continued to do the scientific research. As you delve into the thousands of scientific articles in the multiple hundreds of scientific journals that have done research on the healing value of our botanicals, especially those in our formulations. Over the years, I got very familiar with what these botanicals can do. I would show my clients the science behind them, and they would choose to apply them in their nutritional healing protocols that I developed for them. It was all science-based. Just client after client, ailment after ailment would, when you give the body what it needs to do the work it needs to do to repair itself and to recover from any kind of malfunction, then it's basically the nutrients from nature, from plants, and even animals that we need in order to build our bodies and maintain them indefinitely. So applying what I've learned in my own life, watching my clients transform their health has been so gratifying. And so when I was introduced to APL, I was actually one of the first distributors to fly to New York to meet Sergey and Vladimir and the first handful of people who were introduced to the APL products in the United States. So we were at the ground floor, literally, and we actually helped to develop and encourage all the legalities and everything like that, because the Russian culture apparently appeared to be quite different than what they were used to. Sergey, if you probably know this, was very excited to come on board to the United States. He always wanted to do business in the United States. He even moved here for a little bit. I don't know if he still does. I don't know if he still is living here. But he was so excited that we had to actually acclimatize him and orientate him to the United States and how we do business here. It's not easy. The FDA, the FTC, all the legalities involved, and of course all of the entities that are the opposing forces of the whole holistic health movement, we had to kind of introduce to him and direct him to the right parties to be able to implement it successfully here in the United States. So it's an honor to be one of the first. I think I'm one of two people in the whole world right now who has written a book about the APL products and the science behind them. So I'm very excited to share this knowledge. As I was writing the book, it took me 17 months to research and put it all together. I was very patient. I was taking my time. I wanted to do it right. I thought, well, the whole world is going to be looking at this book, so I better darn well do a good job, right? But you see, I've been so familiar with these botanicals for so many years that it was just right up my alley, really, and it was a pleasure and a joy to put it all together, and I just couldn't wait to share it with everyone.
Well, I know our teams are getting so much benefit from reading and this book that you've written, and I know a lot of them are planning on purchasing it now, especially that they're going to hear from you tonight. So I love what you said, and let's do just a small disclaimer. This is a nutritional product. It's not going to cure or diagnose or, we don't want to use those kind of words because it's not a medicine, right? But we all know when you put the right things in your body will perform at its absolute best. So that's what we're talking about tonight, which is the right nutrition. And I kind of want to start with this question, only because people ask all the time, because it's like the first thing people see when they see our literature and our marketing materials. It says Accumulate SA, which is the technology that allows us to have this amazing product. Could you talk a little bit in your words about what is Accumulate SA?
Absolutely. Of course, it's a proprietary technology. And so what I've been able to glean from the president and some of the other officers, this is what I learned, and I put that information in the book. So basically, we have Bara Herbs who grow all of the plant materials for us, and they know how to nourish the soils and create the perfect environment to nurture these plants. And they know when to harvest them and what time of day to harvest them to ensure their optimal potency. So before we even get to the manufacturing and SA technology, just know that the plant materials are highly potent just as to begin with. So then they are frozen and they are shipped to the manufacturing facility. And in the facility, we've got these giant vats and this technology that applies they simulate an electrical storm that generates an abundance of electrons. So they negatively charge the atmosphere within this chamber where the plant materials lie. And so all of it is mixed into this wonderful elixir. And so they stir it all up and they bombard the electrons with even more antioxidant, negatively charged particles, which our bodies can use absolutely. We can never have enough of these negatively charged particles for our own molecules that our body uses to generate all of the biological processes that our body needs to do every single day to stay alive and to metabolize everything. So our bodies are constantly working to generate new cells and to build new body proteins and to disassemble and repurpose. Our trillions of tiny little microscopic cells are always at work, and there's so much in that inner world as well. But as far as the technology goes, once they are infused with these negatively charged electrons, the viability of the plant materials, first of all, are maintained up to that point. And also, because they are negatively charged, they are viable. They have been tested by independent labs to show that these drops are as if you were taking an active, raw, enzyme-active food. Okay, so this is what's so different about the APL drops.
Wow, yeah. In fact, I think you answered 5 of my questions all at once, which is awesome because that's exactly the kind of things people have been asking us that we're like, we're not scientists or nutritionists, don't know how to answer it. That was amazing. Can you talk about the quality of these ingredients that they're using?
Oh yeah, like I said, they are organically grown and they are overseen by one company that is exclusive to APL. So we know exactly what's going into the products from the very beginning. So if you nurture the soils, I have taken a course in permaculture. I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but it is beyond organic. When you raise food, it's a methodology that is actually quite ancient, but it's been coming back to the United States in the last 30 years. So if you create an environment in which the plants are nutrient rich and very much vibrantly alive. Now I can get into the physics of it, which is another subject that I'm passionate about, because the light energy frequencies that our bodies thrive in are needed and are utilized when we take in enzyme active, light energy active foods. So raw foods are what our products begin with. So we maintain that energy transfer that our bodies can absorb as much as the physical nutrients. So we are 97% light energy, 3% particle matter. So all that is put into the living plants that our drops are made from.
So you said organically grown, and yet we don't use the word organic in our literature. Can you tell us why that is?
Yeah, we had suggested that he hurry up, as President Sergey, hurry up and get the products USDA organically certified. But if you look at all of the other certifications that he has acquired from the 60 countries that he's established the products in, those are all organically certified in their own right. The ISO certifications, the DREAM certifications that all other companies in the world wish their products had, all the possible certifications that a company could have. When our drops have been certified, halal certified, they have been kosher certified, and none of those certifications allow anything other than organically grown foods.
Wow, that's excellent. So we can say, if people say, is this an organic product? Technically the answer is it's better than organic. Yes?
It's much organic from all the other certifications issued by other countries.
Oh, that is excellent. Can we talk for a minute about the sugar? It has 1.3 grams of sugar. One of our products, we do know, without making a claim here, that it's been recommended for people with diabetes. And if it has that 1.3 grams of sugar, how is that possible? Like how, because most people say for a diabetic, sugar is the last thing you want to put in a product for health. Can you explain that a little bit?
Absolutely. I've always had a problem with Americans taking in way too much sugar. The processed sugars can wreak havoc on the body, elevating the triglyceride levels and overtaxing the pancreas, causing it to produce an abundance of insulin. And if you're not highly nourished and you're not balancing your food intake properly and your vitamin mineral intake and all that kind of thing, then your body will start getting tired of having to create those molecules, to create that infusion of insulin to take the sugar out of the bloodstream back into your cells for energy production. So the body gets overwhelmed, the pancreas gets overtaxed. So yes, I'm totally against too much sugar, but your body converts the carbohydrates that you take in. Like if you take in healthy carbohydrates like whole foods, beans, whole grains, root vegetables, all those long chains of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms, those are very complex sugars. So when you take in those sugars, the body will break those down to their minute components, which is basically way down to the blood glucose levels. That's a fundamental sugar molecule that's found in our blood, and it's required to fuel our muscles and fuel our trillions of cellular actions. They require energy as well, and it's fueled by the glucose molecule. And also our brain functions on the glucose molecule. So when your body is taking in all those carbohydrates, you really do have to be conscious of any other refined sugars that you're taking in. But what's wonderful about our drops, and this is something that I've seen in diabetics as well, when they have taken the drops, their blood sugar levels are normalized and maintained very beautifully. And just from taking one drop, I had one person who could only afford to take one drop a day to buy that one product every month. So that also had a positive impact on his blood sugar levels, and he's type 2 diabetes. So the botanicals contain so many sugar balancing attributes. The phytonutrients in these botanicals act to, and I found this out in all the research I've done, and I compiled them into the monographs that are in the book. So each botanical has its own monograph, or each formulation, and then each botanical has its own description and scientific references to back up everything that I assert in the book. So you'll find that the botanicals do have so many wonderful nutrients and other nutrient factors like the phytochemicals, the plant fluids in plants, and all of those molecular structures that act to counter the effects of too much sugar in the blood. So they will actually help the organs function better, particularly the pancreas and the liver, and reduce the load off the blood sugar. And so the body is a tremendous biochemical ecosystem. And our DNA instructions and our genetic code of instructions in the DNA double helix knows what to do if all of the right nutrient factors are present every single day.
Wow, that's excellent. So we do use the word DNA in our product. We call it a DNA drop. Can you explain a little bit about what that term means?
Absolutely. This is the exciting part about plants. When I did some research on how the DNA of plants is utilized by our own DNA, our DNA is able to read the genetic code of plants. So with the drops, having the DNA of all the different botanicals in the formulations, our DNA picks up that information and actually does a readout. It will map out the DNA of the plant and match up with our own DNA and find the missing malfunctions in our own DNA, knowing that the plant DNA has sequencing of genetic codes that can be spliced into our DNA to improve the functioning of our cells. Now, if that's not exciting, if that doesn't give you, if it doesn't put you in a state of complete awe, I don't know what will. But I find that very miraculous. But it's science, and it's scientifically proven out there. There are videos that show this process. It's very exciting stuff.
Well, yeah, you know what? I actually have some goosebumps. So I love what you're saying. I'm gonna have to watch it back 10 times and write it down, because that was incredible. Now I have gotten a question on the boxes themselves. On the back, they have the nutritional guidelines. So it's a two-part question. It says 17 milligrams of active ingredient. So tell me why that number. Is it enough to be your daily values worth of nutrition? And the second part of the question is, can this replace a multivitamin? And which product would replace that? Or anything you have to say about that arena of questioning?
Okay, because it's a nutraceutical, it's a whole food complex, it's difficult to break down the exact amounts of vitamins and minerals that the RDA is based on, the daily recommended values. You know, those are based on vitamins and minerals. And because it's a whole food complex, and because it is based on the micro nutrient factors taken from inside of plant cells, inside the cells of humans and plants is this whole world of this is the main hub that determines your health or your state of disease, because we have the protein manufacturing sites, we have the fatty acid and the sugar breakdowns that occur, that your body will break molecules down and repurpose them or build molecules up to make new body tissues and new structures and such, and new biochemicals like hormones and enzymes that the body uses. So all of this has to be taken into account, and it's very difficult to really pinpoint that and fit it into that kind of measuring. So that's what makes our supplements so different. They're highly complex for a very highly complex human body. And it is the compatibility factor there is so amazing that science and the government has not really examined that far enough to determine how to label that thing, you know. So altogether, they just put it in the nutrient factor, how much they all weigh, and that's all they could come up with.
So, you know, we like to say this is an instant gratification product, instant gratification nutrition. Can you talk a little bit about that? What makes it instant? What is it in here that makes people within 10 to 15 minutes of putting the drop in their mouth, they're already saying, I can't believe I'm feeling something?
Yeah, depends on the person, depends on the extent to which their health has degraded. Someone who is highly healthy will just notice a nice boost of energy that's not like a caffeine infusion or anything like that, but just an extra boost of the ability for their body cells to generate energy much more efficiently, and to look for, the body's always monitoring and patrolling and finding out where it needs work and where it needs repairing. So because these drops are immediately absorbed through the mucosal cell membranes in the mouth, it enters the bloodstream. You don't even have to digest anything. It goes straight to the bloodstream, which digestion, that's what it's all about. Digestion is just reducing the huge molecules of foods that we take in to their most minute nutrient components that fit through the cell membranes, the very distinguishing, very picky cell membranes that will only allow the right molecules into the universe inside of our cells. So the digestive process is slow and sluggish, and so the whole point is to absorb nutrients at that micro level. Okay, and I think, did I answer the question? I'm not sure. I think I went off on a tangent.
No, I actually like the tangent. I think that's great. Yes, thank you. Now we do have some individual products, and people they don't have a problem explaining overall what it does, but then some of the products they get a little stumped on exactly why this product versus this one. So I'm just going to ask you individually if you could just say a little bit about each one of them. If you could start with the HRT for your heart.
Okay, so you want me to tell you about the botanicals that are in it and how it works in the body kind of thing?
And if somebody's going to take this every day, it's not instant, because it's not like you feel your heart better or worse right away. But if somebody's going to take this product every day, why would they take it? Why would they need it? And what can they expect it's doing inside their body?
Yeah, gosh, I feel like showing you the ingredients list, because then I could tell you what each botanical does. Would you like me to do that? I can just give you a general description of what it does. What would you like me to do?
The description is fine. And then maybe we can have you back for another one and you can go over each of the individual products. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'll be faster. Okay. Yeah, the heart, the HRT has botanicals in it that actually improve the functioning of your heart, your circulatory system. So in the book, I have pointed out the 10 basic body systems. And so the cardiovascular system is very important for as far as any health ailment that is associated with that. Again, of course, we don't cure, we don't diagnose, we don't treat diseases, that kind of thing. But it's a fine line that we have to walk, knowing that these nutrient factors improve the functioning of our trillions of cells that compose all of the different body systems. And over the years, when I watched my clients' health transformations, all I did was teach them how to eat properly and take the right supplements. And I wish I'd had APL drops at the time. It would have been even faster and even more impressive. But the body knows what to do once it receives the right information, that it knows how to decipher and interpret and utilize to the fullest extent it possibly can. So your body knows how to survive under the worst circumstances until finally the systems start breaking down, and then that has an accelerating effect toward the disease process and final system breakdown. But if you nourish your body properly with all of these wonderful botanicals, each botanical contains multiple nutrient factors, the phytochemicals or phytonutrients, as they're also called, the vitamins and the minerals and the active enzymes that are the catalyst for every single biochemical reaction that occurs in the body. So we need all of these factors present in order for the body to restore itself back to its optimal functioning levels.
Wow, excellent. What about this one? MLS. I know they call it multi-spectrum, right? So yeah. What's exactly, like, what kind of person would you recommend? So, because one question I get a lot is, do you take all 15 of them every day? Now, my husband was at first. I'm at about 5. There's about 5 or 6. But if I were to be watching this and deciding which product do I need to take versus all the other ones, what would you say about this one?
MLS is a pan-systemic, all-around thing that everyone should include in their protocols. So it has so many pan-systemic or botanicals that work in several areas of the body. The body has an affinity for certain phytochemicals, certain vitamins and minerals and other nutrient factors, fatty acids and sugars, and so the body picks and chooses what it needs at any given time. But certain systems do have an affinity for certain nutrients. The MLS contains the full range of all of the types of phytochemicals and other nutrient factors that the body can use to repair just about any one of our systems. So the MLS is a pretty good all-around general, and I hate to use the word general because none of our drops are average, you know, and they're not general anything. They are exquisite, and the technology is exquisite, and how they work in the body is just poetry in motion, you know. So the MLS is an excellent product. I would definitely recommend it to begin with.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I know that this one, HPR, it has the word detox and cleanse. And when people hear those words, sometimes they think, am I going to spend the first 3 days in the bathroom with this product if I start taking this product? So when it really comes down to a detox and a cleanse, what exactly are they talking about with this product?
Okay, yes, first of all, I never have advocated some severe detox programs because it's just too hard and too stressful and too uncomfortable, and it can literally make you sick. When your body is accumulating toxins over time and you're not putting in the right types of foods and you're constantly dehydrated, and so you're in a state of inflammation and toxicity, then something like this powerful little HPR drop can certainly give you diarrhea, can certainly make you detox a lot of these chemicals out of your body, especially the skin. It's the largest organ in the body, and it's one of the 5 detoxification channels. So some people may experience that kind of thing, but as long as they start cleaning up their diet, eliminate all the foods that your body doesn't understand and does not like and cannot use, and causes a whole chain reaction of biochemicals that lead toward the disease process, inflammation and pain and fatigue and all kinds of horrible symptoms that get worse and worse over time. So start giving your body what it really needs. If it's not harvested, freshly harvested or freshly slaughtered, if you're not a vegetarian, then that's what you need to stick to. That is what you need to avoid. Everything else directly from nature is what you should be putting into your body and drinking plenty of purified spring water. That an aside. The HPR contains botanicals that are very well known and well researched for eliminating toxins, binding to toxic chemicals molecularly. They bind to the chemicals and they help your body safely eliminate them over time. So it has taken many years to accumulate these toxins that none of us can avoid, but if we detox extensively on a daily basis using the HPR and a sensible, clean, healthy, full range nutrient food intake, then your body will start getting better and better over time. The liver is the detox organ, one of the detox organs. It can hold toxins over a long period of time, so we need to gently cleanse it, and the HPR drops will certainly help you do that very effectively based on the botanical research that I found.
Oh, that is excellent. So you mentioned skin. I think all the ladies love this product. Clearly for the purposes of, skin texture, brightness, and elasticity. But in reading the literature on this one, it also says immune response, cellular renewal, and body defenses against free radical damage. Can you talk a little bit about those things?
Yes, when we have such viable molecules in our drops, that is, they are active and the body will utilize the energy factors, not just the nutrients and the botanicals that will help your body eliminate toxins. Again, there it is again, helping your body eliminate toxins. But as far as the substances that are in this formulation will help to improve how your cells are regenerating themselves and making sure that they are functioning optimally. So your skin cells are alive, of course, they're always regenerating, they're always replacing themselves. So what you put into your body will help that set of that body system to maintain itself properly. So you can prolong the aging process, and you can have more energy and have a better hormonal balance, as in the body system. These plant chemicals also are precursors to the thousands of hormones that the body manufactures. There are thousands of hormones that the body needs to make every day. These are the regulating hormones. It's not just about the reproductive hormones. It's about the hormones that regulate every single body system, and it works with the nervous system. So these plants that are, these botanical ingredients that are in this and other formulations, you know, this is something that all the botanicals have in common, is that they help the body regenerate all of its cells so that they function more optimally. Did I answer the question?
Yes, absolutely. So I know we touched on this one a little bit earlier when we were talking about blood sugar regulation, but metabolic balance, the NRM, and also occasional fatigue, overcoming fatigue. So can you talk a little bit about this product and why that would be something that people would take for those specific purposes?
Yes, those botanicals, of course, all this stuff is in the book. You know, I talk about this extensively and I cite all the scientific references. So anything I'm saying tonight is substantiated. So yes, the NRM botanicals actually help the body regulate its own blood sugar. They contain the factors that work by themselves. So these are called secondary metabolites. So a lot of these plants do contain the secondary metabolites that the body doesn't have to make a molecule or a hormone or an enzyme or any other biochemical or a protein that will conduct the right biological process. So these secondary metabolites act on their own. They are antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, and they will also help the immune system function better. Our immune system can get dumb. If we are not giving the body the right nutrients, then the immune system, which is a high priority in the system, will not function right. It will not recognize what's not supposed to be there. So we can, talk about cancer and all sorts of autoimmune diseases when it comes to that. But giving the body the right nutrient factors, particularly in this formulation, will counter a lot of the problems that can arise.
Wow, that is excellent. I know we have a lot of people on this call with some autoimmune things going on in their life. So I know that's already, that sentence alone, they're going to be like, that was the best call ever. So GRW, Grow, we just won a poll on the best immunity product on the market. And this is the product they were talking about. Can you talk a little bit about this one? And also it says mood balancing and feeling of overall well-being. And that's kind of a broad statement, but what is it about this product that just makes people feel like it's like the happy candy?
Well, like all the other botanicals, they contain some of the similar biochemical properties that do act on the hormonal system to bring it back into what the body, what's called in the scientific world as homeostasis, or what we call biochemical balance, just the body bringing it back to hormonal balance. That's the layperson's terms. But actually what it's doing is it's making the body realize that that it has to produce the right types of hormones. And so the botanicals contain the phytonutrients that will help the body recognize that these molecules are required to make certain hormones. So the fact that this formulation has so many different types of phytonutrients that actually do that, they work in concert, they work in synergy together to balance, have this balancing effect in our system and bring the body back to what it should be all the time, rather than being bombarded with stress and worry and being biochemically imbalanced, which also causes a lot of stress chemicals that put us in different moods as well. But the GRW, what I found is those botanicals are known to destroy cancer cells. And I'm talking about the science, I'm not talking about a cure. And I'm not telling anyone with cancer to take some Grow and their cancer will go away. But in my years as a practitioner, when I used botanicals that were proven in many scientific studies, you can't just believe one study, you have to see the whole array of studies that have been done over time in order to come to any conclusions that something might work. So this is the kind of research that I did. This is absolutely the kind of research I did in compiling the book. So the research is very clear on some of these botanicals, particularly in the GRW formulation, that it contains anti-cancer properties to help the body's immune system recognize cancer cells and to help destroy the relatively large cancer cell compared to our tiny immune cells. Our immune cells are powerful. They mobilize all their different forces to attack cancer cells once it recognizes and identifies that the cancer cell is not of self, quote unquote. This is what science calls the recognition, recognition that the body is able to see if something belongs in the body or not. So the GRW has the botanicals with the nutrient factors that help the body's cells recognize foreign objects.
Wow, that's now I think after this, I'm going to be taking all 15 of the products every day. Power for men versus power for women. I don't have the men's on my desk. It's the only one I don't take. What seems some of the botanicals are the same, but what is the difference between the two, that one works specifically for females and one for men?
Well, there's only, as you know, 1 or 2 difference in the ingredients on those 2 formulations. Basically, it's instructing the body to recognize all of the precursors that it needs to create its own set of hormones, and it's gender-based, right? The body is, if you're a female, you have the genetic code of instructions that say you are female, and same for males. So when we take in these common botanicals in both formulations, it's not going to turn one into the other gender, because these are only precursors to the hormones that our bodies need to make. They only assist the body to recognize which hormones to make and how many it needs and how to recognize them. So all of these biochemical processes require the right molecules, and these 2 formulations do have the right molecules. They're viable, they're active, botanical nutrient factors, so the body has no problem with using what it can. Before I discovered the APL drops, for years I used to put women on 3 different formulations, on 3 different botanicals. I believe 2 out of 3 of them are in our formulations, but not necessarily in these formulations, surprisingly. So, so the different botanicals that I would introduce them to, when they combine them, they would contain the balancing effect of both sexes have to create a certain percentage of male hormones, female hormones, and neutral hormones that do other things in the body. So, of course, there are other hormones as well. I'm simplifying it, but so you know, it's important to provide your body with all of the precursors that it could ever need, so that it has a full array of molecules to work with, and it will choose the right ones. That's in our genetic instructions, in our genetic code.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, and we'll end the last one, I promise. This is the product, SLD. This is the one that people like immediately, like it's the one that you give somebody and within a few minutes, they're like, I think something's happening, which seems crazy. But what is it about this product that makes people feel better, like they're having some result so fast when it comes really to the joint pains? Because people who are achy and have joint aches and pains as they age, they're loving this product. Can you tell us a little more about that one?
Yes, it contains the botanicals that are some of the most effective anti-inflammatories known to science. You know, the turmeric and the ginger, and these are powerful anti-inflammatories that everyone knows about. But when you dive into the scientific literature, you'll find study after study, year after year, on these particular botanicals. A lot of the other botanicals in the formulations also are very effective, surprisingly effective, and shown scientifically to reduce inflammation as well. So they act immediately on the inflammatory response that the body is undergoing when it's in pain. You know, there are certain inflammatory proteins that the immune system doesn't know how to stop. It just continues to produce them and continues to produce the pain. And the body's trying to heal and reduce the inflammation, but it can't do that with these inflammatory proteins present in there. So these botanicals will help neutralize them at the molecular atomic level. And so a lot is going on at the micro level, this micro universe in our body that we don't even know is going on, right? And so science is continually discovering what exactly is going on in this inner universe of ours. So we do have to create the right environment, and the SLD botanicals, their nutrient factors definitely have the anti-inflammatories that we need.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. there anything, so I don't have any more questions for you. I can't wait to listen to this all again, but is there anything that you would like people to know that maybe we didn't cover? I mean, you're 40 years in the nutritional space. You could talk about any product under the planet and take anything, but you chose this one. Is there anything you'd like to say lastly that you think that we should all know?
Yeah, when I first started analyzing nutrients in supplements, there were a lot of, back in the late 70s, early 80s, there were a lot of products out there that had inflammatory, hazardous other ingredients in them that didn't even belong in any kind of supplement. The vitamins were more synthetic, and the minerals were not plant derived, so they weren't very absorbable at all. And then, of course, the organic industry didn't have its influence like it has, as it has in the last 20 years. So a lot has changed in the industry, and I've seen a lot of companies finally wake up especially when we got the internet and we were able to share information and distribute information on a much faster, larger scale than we were before. So the word started spreading, and a lot of the consumers started getting more sophisticated in their choices and what they wanted in a supplement. So a lot of the companies responded, we vote with our dollars. What we buy sways entire industries. Don't ever forget that. It has more effect than you could ever realize. Even if you can afford only one organic food, buy it, because you're changing that particular industry. Okay, so over time, we have become more and more health conscious and more and more sophisticated and more demanding in the kind of information that we get. So you have to stick to the biological science, the real fundamental, established foundation of knowledge that has been accumulated because of science. But we also cannot forget the thousands of years of indigenous healing wisdom that has been accumulated. Science is now testing out this ancient wisdom and is, lo and behold, finding out that it has merit, and it is confirming its efficacy and validating it. So we can now put those two together to realize that the human body demands the right types of foods and the right types of supplements. So whole food supplements is the thing. So when I started showing clients and teaching about the ingredients in whole food supplements, I made the transition into only organic supplements. So that made a difference. That eliminated the pesticide residues that were causing all sorts of hormonal disruptions in people. And so, you know, when you start analyzing that, you realize that that's just a whole nother problem. So companies are going more toward organic, more toward whole food. They're preserving the viable nutrient factors so that they have even more effect in the body. But they're still, as good as all those other supplements are out there, they are still not 100% absorbable. And it's because they go through the digestive tract. It's a long, tedious process, and your body has to produce the right amounts of hydrochloric acid and all the other different digestive acids, and to break those nutrients down and finally allow them to enter the bloodstream and circulate and arrive at the sites that need help the most. And so the body has its hierarchy. It knows exactly what to use when. So the more nutrients that you take in that are absorbable and utilizable, then the more your total body systems, your body system that don't have the highest priority. So we have the brain and of course the nervous system and the kidneys and all the other organs, the vital organs like the heart. Those are all given first priority, so they're nourished first. But the rest of the body, like our joints, our connective tissues, our muscles, those are expendable as far as the human body is concerned because it's not life-threatening. But yet a lot of our health issues are based on, you know, pain all over the different systems in the body, all over the areas of the body. So that's pretty much what I want to really drive home. And may I make one more point? Sorry, once I get on my box. Okay, real quick. We do have to be careful how we present the FDA, the APL drops, because the FDA has been a pain in the neck to supplement companies for decades. They are driven by their own influences, and I won't mention that because that's a whole another video. But as far as what the FDA demands of companies. We want to protect the APL company from being shut down. I have seen supplement companies be shut down literally overnight because of the associates, the representatives who were practicing medicine without a license. They were, diagnosing this and diagnosing that and treating the supplements, which are nutrients that heal the body, like they were drugs. Drugs do not heal the body. They're not nutrients. They're a completely different animal. So we have to diverse and separate ourselves from the medical world and focus on helping the body to help itself, to provide the molecules it needs to repair and regenerate and bring itself back to optimal functioning.
Thank you for adding that. That's wonderful. And I do want you to just give the last 2 minutes we have here. I want people to know, you can see the book, there's the title. Please tell people how they can get your book, because I know after this call, everyone's going to call me and go, oh my gosh, I have to have it. How do I get it? If you could just get just a minute or two on how do people go about getting their hands on this?
Okay, there are 2 ways. I can direct you to my website, holisticchoices.com. There's a link on the side that says APL Product Reference Nutritional Health Guide. You click on that and it'll take you right to the page where you can order either the ebook version from Amazon or the hard copy version from Barnes & Noble. So I could have done it on one, or the other, but I wanted to get the best prices for everyone. I had another printing house that used to cost me over $130 to have the book printed alone. So the little profit that I was making there was okay, but it was driving the price up for everyone. I did not like that. So I found, after doing a lot of research, I finally just came upon Barnes & Noble of all things, and they were able to give me the best price for it. So the price is $109, and it's free shipping, so that's to me, it's an amazing price for what you're getting. And so yeah, you can get it from holisticchoices.com, or if you jot down my name, Mary Esther Gilbert, and the title of the book, the APL Product Reference and Nutritional Health Guide, then you can put that into your search box. It'll go right to all the links that are associated with buying the book, and it'll take you to the Amazon or the Barnes & Noble site.
Fantastic. Well, I just cannot thank you enough. I'm so excited to find out that you're here in Arizona too. We're only a few hours away from each other. I can't wait to sit down and at least buy you dinner for this incredible Zoom. I know that people got so much value. My phone is blowing up with all the excitement. So thank you so much. I can't wait to meet you. And I hope we can do this again because your knowledge is so vast. And I would just love to pick your brain again at another time, if you're all right with that.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Tina. It's great to meet you, and it's my honor to be here. I'm so excited to share all of this information. I couldn't wait to share it with people. And so thank you so much for having me here. It's definitely a pleasure, and I look forward to more of this. Thank you.
Oh, you bet. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.